And welcome back to this week. Welcome back to day 3 of the Who Would Win week, I guess is the best way to put it. Now, this is another one where I didn't really have to write anything down because I've already done Who Would Wins of both these characters. In fact, one of them I think I've done Danny Phantom now about 3 times? Yeah, I've done Danny Phantom 3 times. I did him against Pac-Man, I did him against Jake Long, and I did him against Ben 10. I've done a lot of Danny Phantom ones. Make this number 4. So, Danny Phantom versus Aang. Now, this suggestion comes to us from Goo Eyed Chihuahua. Yeah, that's a real username, but it's the internet, so usernames can be weird. So, with this one, I can see where you'd put these two against each other. They manipulate their respective elements. Granted, I have no idea where ectoplasm comes in on the avatar scale for manipulation, but who knows? And theoretically, Danny's a spirit. He could, in theory, manipulate Danny, but we'll get to all that when we get to it. So, Danny Phantom. Now, I've gone over Danny plenty of times, but let's recap. By the end of the series, he's around 16 years old, so we'll use that. He's probably got the body of roughly a 16-year-old going through puberty. So, he's not, from what we can see, he wasn't a really muscular kid, but he was skinny. He looked like he was probably going to be a lean guy. Kind of like me. Now, when he goes ghost, obviously, he's got array abilities. First off, he's durable enough to take a lot of hits, energy blasts, things along those lines. Strong enough to lift. I think I managed to go about 10 tons, I think is probably what his relative limit is. He can go intangible, make other things intangible, therefore solid objects will pass right through him. Even ghost objects will pass right through him. Though I can't recall if something else intangible could hit something else intangible, if there was like some sort of paradox with that. Anyway, he can fire ectoblasts from his hands, eyes, parts of his body. They're powerful ecto lasers, basically. He can create energy energy shields. He can fly at roughly around 122 miles an hour, but by the point at the end of the series, he's probably increased that to several degrees. He's got cryokinesis, which is ice manipulation and generation. He's got his ghostly wail, which is a sonic wailing cry. He can overshadow people, which would be interesting in an Avatar versus Avatar fight, I suppose, if Aang tries to manipulate his soul in any way. Try to remember all of his abilities if I'm missing any. He can duplicate himself, but that ability does tax him a bit. So multiplying himself isn't his go-to strategy. He can split in half, means to turn his lower half into a ghostly tail. So he's overall very powerful, but he's been beaten plenty of times by individuals way stronger than him. He's got limits to his power. He's still an emotional teen, so his powers can be dictated by his emotions. And he's not, because he fights ghosts on a regular basis, but doesn't have any formal like hand-to-hand combat training. So, martial arts aren't his forte. Now, with Aang is the Avatar. Are you the Avatar, Aang? No, he's the Avatar. He's the bridge between the spirit and the living world. He's honestly considered one of the best Avatars there has been because he beat the fire. He found the win solution out of the no-win scenario. Obviously, he is an airbender, but with it, and by the way, we're using Kid Aang, by the way. We're using 12-year-old Aang. We're not using adult Aang, because I didn't watch Korra. So, yeah, but that's also, I think, well, not the height, but for fans, most people who, watched a lot of Avatar, that was him, at his true height of power. Now, he's a master in water. He was a master airbender, capable of doing things, creating tornadoes, the air scooter, powerful gusts. He can make a slicing motion with his glider. He has his glider that allows him to fly. He can create a windshield. He can create a lot of different effects with wind. He's also a master waterbender, and we're going by how he was by the end of the series. He was a master waterbender. He can manipulate water in multiple ways, creating ice, creating constructs, doing the octopus thing he did that one time, using it to surf on, creating a shield, creating a giant offensive wave. He was extremely proficient in firebending. In fact, he had a natural talent as a firebender, but his fear towards it made him hesitant to use it. Still, he was fairly competent. Fire blast, the whole shebang. Earth, he definitely had some difficulty with, but he learned to, because he was an airbender, he knew how to think outside the box and manipulate it in Earth in many different and unique ways. He wore his armor several times. Um, I don't think he ever learned metal bending though, which is weird. Why didn't, I mean, taught him how to earthbend? Why didn't she bother teaching the Avatar how to metal bend? She's clearly the strongest earthbender pretty much ever lived. So I don't know. But yeah, he's worn crystal as armor. He can manipulate crystal. He can hide in the dirt, in the earth. Send boulders. Cause giant, massive waves of dirt to go or earth to go towards an opponent. All that stuff. Now before we get to the Avatar state, he is also, let's be clear, he's a master martial arts because he's good at avoiding, not necessarily offensive tactics. It's more like avoid, air blast, avoid, look for the opening kind of the attack. But that comes from formal training in certain martial arts styles, forms anyway. That's how the bending styles are all derived from. Like fire styles, firebending's Shaolin Kung Fu, earth style. Either that or was it was Shaolin Kung Fu. But Toth's earth style is based off of praying mantis. Katara, I believe, is based off of Tai Chi. Airbending is based off Bagua, which involves a lot of circular motions and quick movements. So, not unreasonable to believe that Aang has a lot more formal training and a lot more just natural physical capabilities than Danny does. Then, of course, when you get in the Avatar state, he is literally a force of nature. Like, he condensed boulders down to the size of pebbles, and when he broke them apart, he literally tore up an entire canyon because he was firing them like bullets of destruction. He can literally just merge the elements into one, just was about to cut down Ozai before he decided not to do it. He can manipulate the entire landscape, like entire area he's at, without hesitation. So he is bar none one of the most powerful avatars in the Avatar state, and just a powerful being in general. And he has the ability to bend the energy out. He can basically disconnect you from chi, your chi and your life energy. So, life energy, basically the stuff that allowed them to bend. Their access to their chakras was cut off thanks to his ability to bend the energy within. But Aang has been defeated several times himself. Aang is not invincible. Aang is human. Both these guys are human. Both these guys can be killed. So now I don't believe either of these guys will end up killing each other in this fight. But how does this fight break down? What's the most likely scenario? So seeing as the Avatar world and Danny Phantom world is a much better mirror image of our world than, say, the Avatar world is, it's going to be Danny coming to Aang. And what's going to happen is Danny's probably through the ghost portal going to wind up in the Avatar world. Now he's gonna have some difficult time dealing with the people around him and all that stuff, and then he's gonna meet maybe firebenders are going after him, and he goes ghost and he attacks them, and Aang comes in the way, and then a scuffle happens and the fight starts. Now Danny, I think, is the faster of the two because as far as I know, Aang never learned lightning bending, and he knows how to redirect lightning, but he's not a lightning bender. But even because I've always imagined I always imagined a character who had like a malformation in the chakras, so they were exclusively a lightning bender. Like anytime they tried to firebend, it came out as lightning. So instead, they would try to perfect that and like use it like magnetism or like increasing their speed on like a metal ramp or something like that. Point being though, even when flying, Aang doesn't move like at 100. He moves at a very decent pace, but he doesn't move at 112 miles an hour, let alone the speeds Danny eventually probably achieved later on in his career. So, and Danny's definitely the faster too. Danny's going to come in, but Aang is easily the better at dodging and avoiding. Now, obviously, Danny can go intangible, but that's just innate ability. So I imagine Aang's just like, whoa, and then just getting out of Danny's way, and then gusts of wind, Danny gets flung like, whoa! It's like, all right, let's see how you like this. And just energy blast. Aang's trying to block him. It's like, whoa, but the wind isn't going to be able to block that. Aang's got to get out of the way. Danny's now fires like, Now Aang's got to go and resort to other bending. He brings up some earth. Danny sees suddenly the earth comes like, what the heck? And then, the earth blocks it. And then Aang just starts going, starts firing balls. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You missed, you missed. And he's like, you missed. And then Danny just, or Aang just breaks it. And there's like Ray still like, oh, crud. It's like, whoa, ha. But and it's like, ha, you missed. But all of a sudden he doesn't see Aang behind him, gets whacked by the glider. Just, ah. It's like, okay, buddy, let's see how you like this. And then just fling some ice at the glider. Aang's going down. He can't move his hands, so he's got to use the fire bending to. But unfortunately, his glider gets incinerated. So it's like he's now pissed. His glider's like, hey, I like that. And so then it's like, well, wait, did you just make fire out of your hands? And it's like, nope, now I did. And then just fire blood breathes at Danny. He's like, whoa, hot stuff. And then Sonic wails to counter the fire. They kind of clash and then overwhelms the fire. But immediately Aang comes in with some water from behind, and Danny just, and then Aang freezes it. Just, and Aang is like, yeah, maybe you can cool off for a while before we get the authorities in here. Danny just goes intangible. It's like, yeah. And it's like, sorry. It's like, talk about a cold shoulder. Oh, that's right. Tucker and Sam aren't here anymore. Damn it. It's like, all right. It's like, what are you? Now, Aang, having dealt with the spirit world on multiple occasions, I feel like he would actually know or understand that, or be able to sense and tell that Danny's at least not fully human. He's sensing spirit energy from Danny. So something about Danny is off to him. It's like, It's like, I'm sensing, are you part ghost? Like, how does it tell? It's like, I'm Aang. I'm the bridge between blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, bridge between, well, whatever. And then, Danny's just now fully, it's like, what? And, Aang's getting thrown back. And it's like, yeah, stop. No, it's like, yeah, whatever, buddy. You're the one who attacked first. It's like, you attacked first. And something like that. So Aang's going to be thrown back by the Sonic Whale. Because remember, there are no sound-based moves in the Avatar world. Aang's no more impervious to sound or shockwaves or anything like that than anyone else. So that definitely would throw Aang for a loop, probably like really hurt his eardrums. Danny comes in just boom on Aang, just boom, and just Aang goes flying. Poof. It's like, now stay down. Danny's just like, whew, now I got to figure out how to get home. And all of a sudden, the building that Aang crashed into blows up, and you just see Aang in Avatar state, and Danny's now immediately kind of scared, like, it's like, and then as you see Aang get a combination of fire and earth together, and wind, no water, I'd imagine, because no water right now. just you see that look of that angry look of just rage on Aang's face. Well, maybe not pure rage like he had with Ozai, but or with like when Appa went missing, but definitely like anger. And then he just raises his arm and like a giant fist of earth and fire and wind and stuff. Because like, whoa! And it's like, Danny maybe tries to use an energy shield. The energy shield holds, but he gets smashed into the earth. So he's definitely shaken up, but he's still okay. But then the earth comes in, starts swallowing his feet, goes intangible. And it's like, whoa! And then Aang suddenly appears before him, and boom! It's like, uh-oh. And then it's like, nope. Then you get the green energy of Danny versus the blue energy of Aang. And now the question is Aang capable of cutting him off from his ghost abilities? I'm going to say no, because the bending arts are biological. They are genetic in a sense, but they don't deal with your DNA. They deal with your chakras, your energy pools. Danny's ghost form is literally ingrained into his DNA. Literally, his molecules get rearranged. He's a dead phantom. Yeah, his DNA literally got restructured. So I don't believe when Aang's going to realize, I don't think he realizes he can't take away Danny's powers, nor really does he think he should, understanding that this kid, admittedly, he's technically older than Aang, but Aang's actually way older than anyone in the series, besides maybe... No, yeah, at 112 years old, I think he's older than just about anyone, except for maybe Boomy. I think Boomy might have been a little older than him, but apart from that, I mean... Iroh, I'm pretty certain's not over 100 in the Avatar series. Zhongzhong's definitely not. Well, not Jong. Sokka's master. He's definitely not. But point being, understanding he's just get use the energy. He still manipulates the energy enough to maybe temporarily keep Danny's ecto energy at bay. But he knows he can't turn the spirit part of him off. So Danny just suddenly pops and goes like, I can't. It suddenly stops going ghost. Maybe he doesn't stop going ghost, but he can't fire energy unless he can't go intangible. It's like, oh man. It's like, do I have any other abilities? It's like, well, let me see here. And I'd imagine he could still probably split himself in two, and he might be able to go intangible. But besides multiplication and intangibility, that'd be about it. So maybe he realizes that he can't, even because multiplying himself would tire himself, it's not going to be worth it. So he tries to pretty much just make a get away with the intangibility. And as he's getting away, Aang basically says like, if you run, you're not going to be able to use your energy again. And then he just sounds like, I can turn it back on, but we're going to have to talk this out. Basically, the way this fight's going to end, and let's be clear, do I see a scenario where Danny wins? Maybe. Because Danny theoretically could just remain intangible for a lengthy amount of time, tire Aang out, and eventually just come in with a knockout blow. But it all depends on how much. But Aang's smart enough to eventually just not attack him, and Danny, I don't think, can keep intangibility up indefinitely. So, and he can turn invisible too, but I'm certain Aang would sense him out eventually. So yeah, is there a weird scenario where he can win? Sure, I'd say about 10% of the time. It's not a likely scenario. I see Aang's. I mean, they're both really versatile, but the thing is, when it comes to ecto energy, Aang can match that with fire or just block it with earth or water, something like that. When it comes to the cryokinesis, Aang's a waterbender. He can manipulate ice. And then when it comes to the Sonic Wheel would definitely throw Aang for a loop, absolutely. But it wouldn't really do anything of note to defeat him. If it can't defeat Vlad Plasmius, who, I would also probably argue is much weaker than the Avatar, especially in the Avatar state. That's the thing. The Avatar state is like a god-level individual. An Avatar in the Avatar state is like a god-level individual to someone in the Phantom universe. The closest thing I think Danny's ever fought is I think the ghost was named Vortex, who could control the weather. I mean, there was Pariah Dark, who was the Ghost King. And Danny couldn't actually defeat him. He had to lock him away, and that was risking his own life doing that. So yeah, I don't know for certain on that in terms of if Danny has enough power to override or to take on the Avatar state. I'd probably go with no. I'd say he's probably weaker than the Avatar state. And that's the thing. Once Aang goes into the Avatar state, which you would imagine that Aang at this point who has control of the Avatar state, would do that if he felt he was in a corner or if he just got pissed off enough. He would go do that, and at that point, Danny don't really have anything that can match up to Aang at that point. So yeah, Aang, the Last Airbender, wins this fight 90% of the time, in my opinion. I think Danny has a 10% chance in certain venues, but yeah. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Those who want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who to win, Star Wars superhero, who win, what ifs, magics. Sorry. You also noticed, by the way, that the screen is clear from the last video. I was able to clear off a little bit. But yeah. Basically, the stuff I do on the channel. Put in the comments below. Let me know. I'll do whatever you guys. Man, I'm just slurring my words today. I'll do a review of it at some point. So tomorrow will be another Hour of Devastation video. A who would win, a what if, and a review for Baby Driver. So I got 4 things to do tomorrow. So just keep your eyes out for those, folks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Later.